If you're ready to unlock the secret to mastering true self-love, then stay tuned for today's video. We're diving into all the practical tips and mindset shifts that you need to help you master self-love and help you leave this video feeling more empowered and a more confident version of yourself. Hi, my name is Anissa. Welcome back to my channel. If you guys like all videos, leveling up, becoming our best selves, building our dream lives, make sure to subscribe down below and stay tuned for every video that I post every single Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern time. Without further ado, let's get right into today's video. First, let's get into the common misconceptions about self-love and the stereotypes associated with it and debunk those. So the first misconception is that people who love themselves are narcissists. I feel like in this day and age, people like to just throw out different therapy terms and use it out of context or use it without actually knowing what the definition is. So the Google terminology for narcissism is the personality qualities include thinking very highly of oneself, needing admiration, believing others are inferior, and lacking empathy for others. So that's a definition of narcissism. Narcissism and self-love is two completely different things. When you love yourself, you don't have the need to put people down below you. You're still able to have a sense of empathy for other people. And having confidence in yourself doesn't mean that you view yourself above a pedestal over other people. And when you're someone who loves yourself, you don't need external validation to validate how you feel about yourself. You validate how you feel and your confidence within yourself. So those are all completely opposite from the definition of narcissism. So now that we have the clear definition between the two, we can now see ourselves and position ourselves to master self-love, which is understanding that loving yourself doesn't mean you have to be selfish. It's simply just pouring into your own cup and standing up for yourself and believing in yourself to know that you're worthy of love, worthy of just goodness and kindness. It doesn't mean that you don't care about anybody else's feelings and you invalidate everybody else and you just push everyone else aside. No, it doesn't mean that. It means that you just truly understand and value the person that you are. So again, showing up for yourself, pouring into your own cup, doing things that bring you joy and lift you up. I feel like once you really come to terms with understanding the difference between the two of narcissism and self-love, it'll be a lot more easier for people to want to step into this journey without almost feeling guilty in a sense because they, associate the two together. It'll give you so much more clarity and a peace of mind to know that you are worthy of putting your needs first and taking care of yourself. And that doesn't mean that you're selfish or that you're a narcissist. The next misconception is that self-love means that you're always going to feel good in the moment or in the journey, which I feel like is not true. There's so many things that can come up during a self-love journey. It's more than just, having confidence in yourself. It's also about acknowledging your shortcomings, acknowledging your weaknesses, even just holding yourself accountable, right? It's about doing things that are uncomfortable to get you out of your comfort zone. It's about doing things that push you and motivate you to help grow you. Doing those things sometimes can be very uncomfortable. And yes, although, being in your self-love journey makes, life more easier in the sense that you approach things from a different perspective and you have a different outlook. Going through this journey is going to be easy, or it's going to be just rainbows and butterflies and lilies and sunshine and all that. Like, it's a lot more complex and it's a lot more uncomfortable feelings that we have to go through and deal with. But on the other side of that is growth. It's, even more confidence in ourselves. And I feel like the uncomfortableness within that is going to be all worth it for the long run. And the last misconception is that self-love is a one-time achievement. It is not. I'll be the first to tell you, healing in itself is not linear. You'll have different seasons in your life to where you're feeling on top and other seasons where you're not feeling your best, and that's okay. And I feel like when you really acknowledge that, it'll be a lot more easier for you to not put so much pressure on yourself to be the best version of yourself in every single stage in your life. And also understanding that self-love is something that you have to consistently nurture and protect, because as quick as it is to reprogram your mind for the better, it can be just as quickly to turn backwards and go back to the negative thinking, negative limiting beliefs, negative mindset. So it's really important to consistently nurture yourself and consistently nurture your self-love practice, because again, it's so easy to fall backwards. Once you're committed to a self-love journey, you're in it for life, you're in it for the long run. And honestly, it's going to be one of the best decisions that you can ever make for yourself. So now that we got the misconceptions out of the way, let's actually dive into some practical tips and mindset shifts that we need to master self-love. Number one, which is honestly one of the biggest ones that I've had to learn, is that discipline is self-love. A lot of the times, when we have goals or we have ambitions in our life, or we want, to go after our dream lives, we feel like, oh, I can just think my way into it. I can just be there. But it's no, you have to actually take inspired action towards your goals, towards your dreams. And I feel like when you come from the space of yes, sometimes discipline is not sexy. It's really easy to get comfortable and to be cozy and not actively go after your goals. When you have a certain vision of your goal in your dream life and you know that it takes certain actions to get there, you know that it's going to take a certain amount of self-love for yourself and another amount of self-respect for yourself to get up and do the things every single day that'll get you closer and closer to your dream life. There'll be days where like, you know, you don't always feel like going to the gym, or you don't always feel like doing your routine. You don't feel like eating healthy. You don't feel like putting effort into how you look, into your appearance, or doing certain things. But remembering that discipline isn't a punishment, it is an act of self-love. It's going to help you show up even better when it comes to just like going after whatever it is that you are aspiring for. Like, doing the uncomfortable things are going to be what's going to help you grow and to build your confidence. It's uncomfortable at first, but once you keep building up and working up that muscle, it's going to become a lot more easier in the future, to where it's going to be like, oh, that was nothing, literally nothing. So really overcoming that feeling of like, oh, I don't feel like doing this, it's turning that into more of a, I would say like a gratitude mindset of like, okay, I get to wake up and be able-bodied to even walk to the gym and, you know, or have a car to drive to the gym and be able to work out, right? Or I get to create YouTube videos, and I get to create art, and I get to create whatever, or I get to wake up and I get to inspire young children. I get to teach them. I get to motivate them. Like, really shifting your mindset towards one of gratitude will really help you understand that's how privileged we are, and help you go after your goals and really establish that discipline to help get you where you want to be. And this goes honestly for everything in your life. It goes for personal, it goes for career, it goes for relationships, friendships, like every single thing in your life I feel like requires discipline, because you have to like really know your worth to move throughout these different facets of your life. So like, if you're someone who loves yourself, why are you entertaining bad situationships? Why are you entertaining people who aren't good for you? Why are you people pleasing? Why are you doing X, Y, and Z if you love yourself, right? Because to a certain extent, when you're people pleasing, there's a part of you that feels like you're not worthy of standing up for yourself and for your needs. Like, if you know you're not being treated the right way, if you know you're being disrespected, or if you know that workplace isn't valuing you, having enough confidence and enough discipline to at least just stand on business and just be like, you know what, I don't feel valued here. I'm going to pivot somewhere else to where I am valued and I am respected and I'm treated with kindness, right? So again, discipline, I feel like comes in different areas of our life, but when it comes to like our individual selves, we have to evaluate and see, okay, like I deserve X, Y, and Z, so I'm not going to entertain X, Y, and Z from anybody, any place, anything. I don't care. These are my rules for myself. And when you stick by those rules and really stand by them, it'll be a lot more easier for you to attract even more fulfilling relationships, even more better opportunities for yourself. But it all starts with you. The next mindset shift / practical tip is to speak kindly to yourself. So really just treating yourself like you would a best friend. So giving yourself grace, showing self-compassion for yourself. You know, I feel like there's so many people who would never say to a friend what they say to themselves. And I feel like we should really turn that around to be like, you know what, I also deserve to be treated with respect. We're all human. We make mistakes. We mess up sometimes. We don't have it all the way together, but that doesn't mean we should like punish ourselves and treat ourselves badly, you know? So again, I think self-love is about acknowledging your faults and acknowledging your shortcomings and holding yourself accountable, but not doing it in a super harsh way to where you're talking bad about yourself. We can really approach our shortcomings and how we fall short by extending grace to ourselves like we do with our friends, and correcting ourselves with, you know, patience and understanding. I think really getting a hold on this mindset is going to really help with any lingering negative self-talk that we usually have in our mind. The next tip is setting strong boundaries. So not feeling afraid to say no, and honestly just really feeling empowered to say no, not people pleasing, not putting everyone's needs above our own. Really just taking the time to assess and understand that like we deserve to prioritize like our time, our energy. And when you have strong boundaries, it's going to really help enforce that. That way you have a clear peace of mind about how you move throughout every situation. Boundaries are for you. It can be really difficult to be like, oh, I don't want to be, you know, too much, or I don't want to be X, Y, and Z, but it's like your boundaries are for you, and anyone who deserves to be in your life or in your space or in your business or whatever is going to respect that, and they're going to follow through. Anyone else who doesn't belong in your life. That's just my opinion. But again, just doing things to really preserve and protect our energy and our mental health. The next tip to master self-love is to prioritize self-care. So this means prioritizing your overall well-being, whether that be your routines, your daily movement, rituals, overall just doing things that recharge you. I feel like a lot of the times we kind of like go through our days just like rushing to get X, Y, and Z done without really checking in with ourselves to say how did I prioritize myself today? How did I pour into myself? How did I fill my own cup? How did I recharge myself? Because when we're going around just like rushing and fulfilling everybody else's needs, you know, we're going to be left burnt out and overwhelmed, overstimulated, and completely drained. So really understanding that in order for you to show up as your best self in every single facet of your life, whether it's work, whether it's your friendships, you have to prioritize your needs first to be able to pour into anybody else's own. Whether that be a slow morning routine, whether that's pouring into your hobbies, doing things that help you be creative and help you be more present in the moment, or just anything that makes you happy overall. I think really just tapping into prioritizing that is going to help with just like recharging you and making sure that you're taking care of yourself first. The last tip is to cultivate a growth mindset. So this means really challenging your negative limiting beliefs, really learning how to have a more positive outlook on your life. So understanding that every lesson or challenge that you went through helps you become a better person, whether it's mentally, physically, emotionally, whatever. When you come from the perspective of, okay, this is actually going to help grow me and teach me a lesson in the process, it's going to help you move throughout life with the more optimistic mindset, knowing that everything that you've experienced brought you and help with your growth to become a better version of yourself. So this means escaping the victim mindset. Not everything is happening to you, but it's happening for you. It's happening for your good. It's really all up to you to decide whether it will be for good or for not, because we can all be victims, right? We can all be like, oh, well, this happened to me, so that's why I'm X, Y, and Z. And that's why I can't go after my goals. That's why I can't do this. I can't do that. But it's like, who's it helping? Who's it helping? It ain't helping you? Why not take the better route? So why not flip that and understand that, okay, this happened to me. It wasn't fair, but you know, I feel like I learned this lesson along the way. I feel like I learned how to not entertain that situation again. I learned how to not take myself for granted or to lower my standards or settle for something else. I know better now, so I'm going to do better, because that's going to actually teach you and help you get to where you want to be versus just like staying into victim mentality that won't get you anywhere. I feel like life is meant to show us things and teach us things to become a better version of ourselves, but I feel like it's up to us to really go after those things. By incorporating these practical tips and mindset shifts, you're going to be able to create a solid foundation for yourself, for mastering self-love, self-compassion, and just learning how to truly honor yourself in every aspect of your life. That is it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Comment down below one thing that you were able to take away from this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys for another video next week. Bye.